In the 1980s, I developed a talk about how some words can cause problems for people learning a second or third or fourth language. And I recently came across my set of overhead projector transparencies. If you've never seen one, here it is. And I thought, I wonder if I can recreate the talk. Well, the first word on here is the word hand. Hand. Now, that's sort of so easy, isn't it? All you've got to do is show a hand. That's it. It's a hand. It's a hand. But in someone's first language, that might not be a hand. I worked in Ghana in West Africa, as you know, and the Akan word for hand is nsa. And it starts here, and it doesn't finish here. It finishes at the elbow. So all of that is nsa. So when children see the word hand, they haven't got the same thing in their mind as you've got. That's the thing we've got to bear in mind all the time. And how about the simple word house? When I think of a house, I think of something like this. Or maybe something like this. But what do the children you teach think of? Do they think of something like this? Or do they think of a flat? These flats were also photographed in Ghana, by the way. They were brand new in 1969. But the point is clear. Whatever you're thinking in your mind about a house, it'll be different in the mind of every child you're teaching. And the next word is family. I come from a very small family. Well, I've got 3 sisters, so I suppose that's reasonable. But I've got no cousins. I've only got one uncle, had one uncle. My father had no brothers or sisters. My mother only one brother. He had no children. So I don't have an extended family. So when I think of a family, I think of mother and father and a child or 2, or 3 or 4. But other people, of course, when they hear the word family, will think not only of their parents and their siblings, but their uncles and aunts and cousins and second cousins and third cousins, and a very, very different concept of the word family to the one I've got. So when they read the word family in a book, they won't be thinking the same as you necessarily. And of course there are lots of different family words, like cousin. Now, if my father had had a brother with a son, he would have been my cousin. If he had a daughter, she would have been my cousin. My mother's brother's children would have been my cousins. But in lots of languages, you have a different word from your mother's side of the family to your father's side, and a different word for girls and for boys. So there might be 4 different words for cousin. So that becomes confusing. If you see the word cousin, what does it mean? It's just not specific enough for some people. Many years ago, I came across a language that had the same word for yesterday and tomorrow, which to those of us who are English speakers sounds quite bizarre. How on earth could the same word be for both yesterday and tomorrow? It sounds really strange. But of course, what it actually means is one day away from now. One day away from now. And the rest of the sentence has to give you a clue as to whether it's one day in the future, tomorrow, or one day in the past, yesterday. But can you imagine somebody looking at yesterday and tomorrow? They'll find that difficult to learn those 2 words. So what I've been saying is that a pupil's first language and their first culture and their first experiences have particular problems when learning a second language, and we as teachers need to be alert to them.